Okay, it is right at 11:30. Since it's just a quick little webinar, we'll go ahead and jump into this. If you jump in a couple minutes late, we will have this recorded and can send it out. But we'll go ahead and get going so we can make sure and cover all the areas we hope to today. So first, just thank you real quick for hopping on. My name's Rick Wagner. I will not be doing the webinar today, just doing a quick little introduction to Andrew Faber. And as you see here, this is Andrew. He's waving there, and he'll take over here in a second. He is our customer success manager. Many of you probably already know him. He will go into his background here in a second, but he's great at what he does. He educates. He can guide you to best utilize the system. So he's been with the team for a year and a half now or so, and is picking up a lot of things. And if he doesn't know the answer, he will go find the answer, but he's great at communicating how best to utilize the system. We'll send out, there's just 2 slides here that I'm going over. We'll send out this information that will have his contact information, but his email is right here. A link to the general support page, which includes Andrew on that team, is a link here. Again, you'll get that, and then the phone number for Andrew directly is right here. The next thing here I will run through very quickly. So quickly, what to expect today is focused on our Bell scheduler. So he'll run through a few things there, just kind of running the ins and outs of utilizing that, making sure that you can leverage it as best as possible. And just a couple highlighted items here within Google Meets. There is a closed captioning functionality, and that's for each individual user on your side. So if you would like to have closed captioning, that is readily available. And then how we're going to do questions today is if you can just simply enter in the questions into the Google Meet questions or comments box here. So that's highlighted. It's at the kind of bottom right, should be at the bottom right of your page on your side. So if you have questions, please enter them in there. I will monitor those, and Andrew will run through those. We'll try to hit those towards the end of this webinar. And then just a quick little highlight moving ahead. So this is something we're going to do consistently. So it will most likely be about twice a month, and it will be different topics each time. So it'll be Andrew leading these webinars, and it'll be different topics. Some will be more base level. He'll get into certainly some more in-depth training as well as we get going on these. The recordings will be available. We will send out kind of a follow-up to this, but recordings will be available moving forward. Again, if you need any additional support, reach out to our support team. There will be a link in these slides that I'll send out. From here, I'll let Andrew take over. So appreciate everybody hopping on. Please reach out with any other questions, and I will stop sharing and I will mute myself. Thanks again, Andrew.
All righty. As Rick said, I'm Andrew Faber. Just a really short snippet about me, my background. I come from education. I was an elementary teacher for about 10 years, and then Rick found me, brought me onto Layered Solutions to be part of their kind of education team. So I like tech and I like teaching, so pretty good marriage here. Okay, so gonna jump right into this. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. So I have a bookmark up here for what we call as production. It's how we kind of practice things and how I create videos for similar things to the webinar, but just quick tutorials that we put in our user manual. So you can reference those at various times. Yeah, we can show you this. So this is just logging in to your system. I would suggest having like I have bookmarked across your bookmarks bar at some point, so it's easy to access if you're in and out of it every day. So on mine, I just want to clarify that you're going to see a lot of stuff because I'm logging in with total admin access. So if you've logged into your system before and you're like, that looks like a lot more than what I have, that is totally fine. Some users will jump in and they will only have the Visual Campus, for example, or they'll only have a couple options over here. That is totally fine. Like we said, today we are going to the schedules. So on the left side is where our menus are. And as you can see, I have one up here that just is set to go off at 10:11. It's basically a test. So with the schedule manager, it's pretty basic. As you're looking at it, you see like here's your times, here's your calendar over here on the left. Now, when you select a time, it brings up a menu to open up the options. So if you are a school, for example, and your school starts at 8 a.m., click around the 8 a.m. And if you miss it, no big deal because you're able to select it here. Now, notice that we are in the schedule activity period. I'm going to cancel this just for a sec. So this tells you what schedule you are looking at right now. So, and it's also color coded. Fun fact, I'm colorblind. So some of the colors, if I say it's a color and you're like, that's not it, I apologize. This looks sort of green or tan to me. I'm not really sure. But we're in activity period. It tells you which one you're messing with up here. So if you want to switch the schedules, these are the global schedules, meaning they go across anybody who logs into your system. So if we switch over to normal, here, let me just going to delete that one for now so we can start fresh. Notice that I'm on normal, but it did not match the color. So this is a dark bluish or purple, and it does not match this color up here. So what we're going to do is we have set this November onward. It's in the same color as activity period. So if you want to adjust or start from scratch setting up your normal schedule for your school or just for a day-to-day activity, depending on whatever business you run, you want to choose a day and then set it to that schedule, and it will set it like from that day on. So then you have to set it back to a different one. So if we start on today's date, we're going to set it to normal. So now you can see the last half of November is going to be on the normal schedule, and then the thing should activate if you have your schedule set to normal. So let's jump in and make a message. So if school starts, for example, or you want your first message to go out as a schedule at 8 a.m. every day, there you go. If you're like, well, school starts at various times. I know some schools are like, well, we start at 8:32. Great. You can click on the 8, or you just click whichever hour it is. And if you make a mistake, you can go like click on the hours or the minutes. So if you click 8 and then school starts at 8:32, you can click and drag whatever minute you want, or you can click right on the number and it'll do that. It'll get kind of close. So if we said, 8:32, for example, and then it says AM right there, that's good. If you're like me, you've made a mistake and you put a PM on accident and it didn't go off on your test computer. And then if that's every day but Wednesday, school starts at 8:32. I know some schools around our area have a delayed start on Wednesdays sometimes. So if you unclick that, that means this message will go off at 8:32 every weekday except Wednesday. So these are just your day selections. So we're just going to leave it every day. So this is the message, and this is what it's going to display. And that kind of brings me to where is it displaying? The signs you have around your buildings, offices, classrooms, anything, lobbies, the signs, the LEDs that scroll, you can have it connected through media controllers on the LCD TV screens, things like that. It can go across PC alerts, any connected endpoint that we connect with at LSI, which is a plethora. So then let's just say, good morning. And that way we have that. Now, the other thing is that it can also have a tone that goes off to have the alert. So if you right click, it brings up a list of tones that you can have. So you can also click up here to kind of listen to what they sound like. So the pound wave tornado it does sound like a tornado, like siren. So careful with that one. These ones are pretty similar to like a doorbell or like a ding, 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 ding kind of thing. Just to kind of grab your attention and then go forward with that. So if we just choose that, that means it's not going to say out loud wave tone 4 chime. It's just going to read good morning and then play that that tone. The comment is just kind of what you want to add on there. It's not going to display that on the signs. Now here we are in audio and visual groups. If you have audio groups, that includes strobes. I know strobes are a very visual thing, but the way they're connected, it is technically audio. So if you click on there, you can choose whichever audio groups in your building, in your offices, stuff like that. So if I just click on that one, that group, it will then go to all of the Media Controller Andrew group. So you'll have groups that are previously set up and you just select through them. So if you have, if it's a K through 4 building for a school, then you can say like all kindergarten classrooms will get that, or all signs, something like that, or all strobes, or all, speaker devices, things like that. Visual groups, that's where the signs. So you can, if you're the high school, you have a high school, elementary school, junior high, and you just want this to go to the high school, you click on that, for example. Just for today, we're just going to click all signs. So then it will go to every sign that is configured in the group, and there it goes. So if you want to differentiate, you totally can, to go to certain classrooms. When we set up these devices, usually they're in their own group. So if you want to send a message to one classroom that needs a schedule that's daily, you can set that up as well to remind maybe that like one teacher who has a special thing, or like one office, something like that. It's very configurable. So there we go. We click save, and our message is right there at 8:32 a.m. And so you're like, great, that's one. Now what? Okay. Well, instead of just clicking, well, the next class starts at, or the next schedule is at, 8:45. Where do I click in there? You can kind of click right there, and then you can click in here and select 8:45. However, if you're setting up, if we're sticking with the school kind of thing, if you're setting up a bell schedule and things go off on a daily basis and it's the same thing with slightly different, like, first period, second period, third period, we have a copy and paste tool. So if you hover over the message, or over the color of the schedule, and there's this copy button right here. As soon as you click that, it brings about you can paste it where you want. Now, obviously, we can adjust the time as needed. You select it there, and then just click on this, and now you're editing this message. But notice all of the stuff is still configured properly. So you just have to adjust the time. So if school starts at 8:45, and you just say, period 1 start. And then if yep, I want all the audios to go off here. I want the visual groups to go to every sign, all screens, like everything. Select your different visual groups. And then down here, you can also drop various types of files, images, videos, PowerPoints, things like that. If you have like a morning message that goes off every morning, I don't know, spitballing here. There's like a tiger mascot that holds up a banner that says, good morning, So you click save, you can select the file and upload that. You save that, and there we go. And then you just kind of keep copying and pasting that and adjusting the time as needed. So then if your classes are, I don't know, an hour long or so, just drop it down there, click it, edit it. If it's an hour long, 9:45, and then period 1, end, and then all of your stuff is the same. Click save, and then move on to the next one. There's this. Then you kind of just copy and paste and build out your schedule there. That's very handy. This copy and paste thing is very handy for building the schedule for schools. I think a lot of people on this call are from schools, from what we saw. So that is great. So then you're like, well, what about this next week coming up? We have Thanksgiving coming up. And so we're like, well, I don't want these bells going off all during break and everything. Great question. If you guys are done, you get out Wednesday, you can select that and then do holiday. And then it was like, well, we're coming back to school on the 1st. Then you click the 1st and you set normal. So now you're on normal schedule starting today, if this was our school, starting today and then into next week. And then if you're out of school after the 25th, so 26th is your first day of break, nothing's going to happen. Because if we are in the holiday schedule, there are no bells, there's nothing in this schedule right now. It's totally empty, so nothing is going to happen on your campus. So if we look into December, we notice that we started back on the 1st, we're back on this normal schedule. So it is important to pay attention to what's up at the top. And then it also says, as you're editing messages, so say you come back from break and you forgot that you adjusted the last holiday, you click on that, it says it right here. So then you can click that, do the drop down, and choose, I do want to adjust my normal schedule. So things like that. And then there is a zoom in button here. So sometimes when the schedules get really close together, they kind of stack on top of each other and they get smushed and you can't read the whole line. So see how this kind of is close enough? Yeah, you can zoom in and kind of adjust your schedule a little bit easier there. So that is that. And then I believe we had a question about making new ones. I think from what that question is over here, you can select add new and then choose, I'm just going to say new schedule. And then you have that, and there's our new schedule, and you can start going from there, creating your new events and your new messages and things like that. And then just make sure you activate that at the one time.